They were only supposed to be on a 3-hour tour. But what happened behind the scenes of Gilligan's Island lasted decades, involved legal feuds, bitter cast rivalries, shady contracts, and one actress who spent most of her career pretending the show never existed. While audiences at home watched a goofy Gilligan screw up every possible rescue plan with all the grace of a tipsy pelican, the real chaos was happening after the cameras stopped rolling. Let's be honest. If you grew up watching Gilligan's Island reruns, you probably thought it was all light-hearted fun and tropical hijinks. But the truth, the real story has more drama than a stranded millionaire without a personal assistant. We'll get into the Ginger versus Mary Ann Cold War, the time Bob Denver went full diva for his co-stars, and the moment a seemingly innocent theme song lyric nearly detonated the entire cast's working relationship. Oh, and let's not forget the professor, because he had some strong feelings about bamboo radios. Before we unpack the fallout of Gilligan's tropical sitcom purgatory, let's rewind and talk about how this weird little show even got made, because that story alone deserves a documentary and possibly some kind of apology to the American public. Back in 1964, CBS was throwing spaghetti at the TV wall to see what stuck. Enter Sherwood Schwartz, the show's creator. He pitched Gilligan's Island as a sort of pop culture morality play, 7 archetypes from American society, all stuck on a remote island. The concept: what if capitalism, academia, celebrity culture, and bumbling idiocy were all trapped together with only coconuts and slapstick to survive? Network execs were baffled. The idea sounded ridiculous even by 1960s standards, and keep in mind, this was a decade where Bewitched and Mr. Ed were considered prestige television. But Schwartz managed to sell the show, and against all odds, it became a hit. A weird, coconut-powered, logic-free hit. What no one expected, however, was that this low-budget sitcom would spiral into decades of backstage resentment, legal tension, and some truly tragic personal turns for the cast. Let's start with the show's clumsiest icon, Gilligan himself, played by Bob Denver. Denver became the face of the show, the slapstick engine of every plot line. But off-screen, he was far savvier than his character let on. When Tina Louise, who played Ginger, was given preferential billing and promotion, Denver didn't take it lightly. In fact, he demanded equal billing for the rest of the cast, and won. This made him a hero among the other actors, and something slightly less than a favorite over in the network boardroom. Tina Louise was not thrilled. According to multiple cast members, Tina believed she was signing on for a serious acting opportunity.
But she was professional, she did her job. She could have been a happier camper. Everybody else seemed to be happy. She was not.
Something more South Pacific, less wacky beach Olympics. From the moment the show premiered, she was mortified.
Walked in, of course, with this beautiful face and this beautiful body, and I said, well, that's the end of that. I won't be getting this.
She rarely bonded with the rest of the cast, avoided press events, and distanced herself from the show in every interview she could.
Since she was the only person who seldom got laughs in a comedy, I think she felt so out of place.
I'm naughty, but nice. I sort of toy with him.
Meanwhile, Dawn Wells, who played Mary Ann, was everyone's favorite camp counselor, literally. She baked for the cast, showed up to every reunion, and basically became the wholesome ambassador of the Gilligan fandom. But things between Dawn and Tina, let's just say they weren't exactly trading recipes. For years, rumors swirled about tension between the two actresses. While Tina kept trying to outrun her Ginger label, Dawn leaned all the way in. She embraced the fans, did convention circuits, and gave exactly the kind of Midwest charm you'd expect from someone who was once Miss Nevada. Tina, meanwhile, viewed the show as a career detour into traffic. She refused to appear in reunion specials. Dawn showed up with brownies. That basically says everything. Alan Hale Jr., the skipper, brought a level of physical comedy and dad energy that basically kept the show's tone intact. Off-screen, Hale was known as the heart of the cast. Once he broke his arm and didn't tell the crew. He kept filming like nothing happened. Who does that? Apparently, a man so committed to the bit, he shrugged off bone injuries like they were paper cuts. Russell Johnson, the professor, had a different issue entirely. Despite being the island's designated smart guy, Russell hated the fact that his character could build a functioning radio tower out of coconuts, but somehow couldn't fix a hole in the side of a boat. He was openly frustrated that the show made him into a human Swiss Army knife, but never gave him a moment of logical triumph. The man had the face of a soap opera villain and the skills of MacGyver, but was constantly upstaged by a guy tripping over hammocks. Then there's the theme song. You probably know it by heart, but originally the lyrics ended with "the movie star" and "the rest." You know the rest, as in the professor and Mary Ann. Just a casual lyrical shrug tossed toward two main characters. Bob Denver was having none of it. He threatened to walk unless they changed the song to include everyone's names. And again, he won. Say what you want about Denver, but the man knew how to protect a group project. After 3 seasons, the show was abruptly canceled in 1967. You might think this is where things ended, but nope. This is where the truly weird chapters begin. The cast scattered. Bob Denver went on to star in a few smaller shows, but the Gilligan shadow loomed large. He was later arrested for marijuana possession more than once, which seems fitting in retrospect. His acting career fizzled, and he eventually opened a small radio station and hosted oldies. It was charming, in a deeply retro, "I'm just happy to be here" kind of way. Tina Louise kept acting, but never shook off the ginger image. She refused to appear in any of the reunion specials, claiming it would ruin her credibility. I regret to inform you that she went on to star in movies with names like Dog Day and Look What Happened to Rosemary's Baby, so the credibility thing didn't quite hold up. Dawn Wells, on the other hand, became a pop culture treasure, but even her life wasn't immune to post-Gilligan weirdness. In 2007, she was arrested with a suspiciously large amount of cash and a questionable bag of herbal products. Again, no judgment. But Gilligan's Island definitely didn't prepare anyone for that kind of plot twist. And yes, if you're wondering whether Mary Ann and the professor ever had a real-life romance, no. They stayed close friends for decades, but nothing romantic ever happened. Fans have written volumes of fan fiction to make up for this cruel injustice. Eventually, there were reunion specials. In the late 70s and early 80s, the cast came back together for bizarre made-for-TV movies like Rescue from Gilligan's Island and The Harlem Globetrotters on Gilligan's Island. No, I did not make that up. Yes, it is as confusing as it sounds. These specials were part nostalgia, part fever dream, and a reminder that maybe some stories don't need sequels. By the 1990s and early 2000s, most of the original cast had either retired or passed away. But their legacy lingered in reruns, merch, Halloween costumes, and that one weird uncle who still insists Gilligan was just misunderstood. Despite the chaos, betrayals, and missed paychecks, the cast did manage moments of reconciliation, especially those who leaned into the absurdity of it all. So next time you hear that cheerful little theme song, remember, the island was fake, the coconuts were props, and the real drama, that was happening behind the bamboo curtain. Gilligan may have ruined every escape plan, but off-camera, the cast had to navigate something even trickier than a tropical prison. They had to survive each other. And now you know what really happened on Gilligan's Island. If you're still here and didn't click away during the Mary Ann weed arrest part, congratulations. You're one of the real ones. Be sure to like, subscribe, and maybe think twice before agreeing to a 3-hour tour. especially if the crew includes a clumsy man-child and a millionaire who pack tuxedos for a beach trip.